This week, you've done something that I'm jealous of.
Yes. Well, actually, I did it last week.
Oh.
But I'm going to tell you about it this week.
Yes. I'm highly jealous. You actually tried the HTC Vive.
Yeah, I did.
The
proper... Well, it was a Vive Pre. It was a Vive Pre, but still, it was basically, yeah. And it was room scale. So
yeah.
I was...
So what was the experience? You went to do some sort of weird, like, horror thing.
It was a complete surprise for a start. I had a ticket bought for me as a surprise, so I didn't know it was going to happen until it was about to happen, which was awesome. But it was a thing in London, and it's a bit weird. It's kind of like an interactive, I say interactive. It's almost like a theatre thing, right? Where you get taken to this warehouse, and it's all like a zombie apocalypse, and you get led through the warehouse, and there's like so it's like a hospital ward where there's like a doctor telling you about the zombies, and then you get led into a dark room, and there's a fucking zombie chained up that runs at you and all this stuff. And people were freaking out. Like, all that's real. That's not VR.
Yeah.
The VR stuff is in the middle, which is obviously what I was, all about, what I was there for.
Yeah.
The horror like stuff. To be fair to them, it was really well done. It was kind of convincing. But I always find in those kind of situations, if you've ever done anything
No, I
like
haven't.
that,
They always sound a bit weird to me.
Yeah. Like I can't like relax. I can't ever
take
it.
Yeah, you can't take it seriously.
Or take it seriously. I'm just a bit like, there's a person dressed as a zombie right there. Like, oh yeah.
Yeah. You can't
get me to the VR.
Yeah.
But I did another thing like that.
So it's sort of like a haunted house type thing, but with more kind of.
It was
assets.
very well put together though.
Yeah, like a higher budget version.
High production kind of value.
Yeah.
The weird thing was, I'll get to the VR in just a sec. The weird thing was, we were told to meet just a random place in London.
Yes.
And I had to wear like a certain thing to like identify ourselves to the people, but there was nothing there. It's like under a bridge.
Oh right, okay.
And then they turn up in like a military truck and bundle you all into the back, and then they close it and it's pitch black in there, and they just drive for about 15 minutes. And
That's
when you
cool.
get out, you're in a warehouse and you don't know where you are.
That's quite cool.
Yeah, it was cool. That kind of thing.
It's like that Darren Brown thing where he
it had flavours of that.
Kidnaps that guy. If you don't know
that was nuts. Like in the middle of like a pub game or something.
Right?
Yeah,
he's like some sort of like magician-y. Is he around in America, Darren Brown?
I have no idea.
He's kind of like a sort of, I don't know how to describe him, like a magician type thing.
I think he just describes himself as an illusionist.
Yeah, and he just
does all these like
weird like hypnosis stuff that I don't know. But yeah, that he did something where he seemed to convince some guy that he was in like a zombie apocalypse. It's pretty entertaining. But sounds a bit like that. Anyway, so you then ended up in this. You did this warehouse stuff with all this live actor stuff, and being dragged around in a weird military vehicle.
Yeah. So then we were chased into a room. They were like, "Get into this room! There's zombies everywhere! Run, run, run!" And we had to run through this corridor. And on the way through the corridor, like one by one, we were grabbed and pulled into a room off to the side. And like this is happening to people like behind me and in front of me.
Yes.
And then eventually I was grabbed and pulled into a room, and in this room was the VR setup. It was just a white room. But so then it was very quickly into the VR, which was
so they
awesome.
A white room, and is there like a zombie who's giving you like instructions?
No, it was like someone who was like acting as if they were like the whole place was meant to be like a military medical installation,
right? Okay,
and this was just one of the people there.
Yeah.
And the whole VR thing was like meant to be like your training to go and. To go and fight zombies outside.
Okay, yeah.
You're like a recruit.
That's how they wove it in.
Right, yeah, whatever. Crowbar it in.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah, exactly, who cares? Anyway, so it was the Vive Pre and
some game.
Bear in mind that the only VR I've ever tried up until then was the Google Cardboard for 5 minutes in the office.
Well, this is what I wanted to hear about because we were talking about I've used the DK2 and you used the Cardboard, and we're kind of talking about, we did a whole episode obviously on VR, and I was trying to describe some of the kind of things I did with the DK2 and like how cool it was. So I'm interested to hear what you thought of VR, as in what VR, whether you think it kind of is the tip of the iceberg, it is going to live up to the hype sort of thing, and what the experience was like and everything about, but then also what the Vive was like as well, the technology, the hardware. Sure.
So the experience, it's definitely going to live up to the hype.
You weren't let down or anything. You were.
No, I mean I've spent so much time kind of imagining what it's going to be like. I think I had a pretty good idea of what it was going to be like, and it was kind of like what I was
yes.
expecting.
Yeah.
But I didn't take away from it. Just like the first moment of putting it on, I was just in some kind of like loading room, a bit like the Matrix. It's just a white floor going off into infinity, basically.
Like the white room you were in.
Yeah, kind of.
Bigger.
But yeah, it's sort of infinite.
That's weird. What?
And then you kind of just look around. I was like looking around, and it just immediately struck me that how good the tracking is. Like it's just perfect. And that was something that like you immediately stop noticing because it's so good.
The tracking of head.
The movement, and also moving around the room, which I didn't really do it initially, but I started doing a lot more.
You didn't have any controllers at this point?
No controllers at this point. So yeah, then the technician person gives me the controllers, and obviously you can't see the person, you can just see the controllers like floating in front of you, which is
so awesome.
Which is cool. Yeah, and you just take them, and then it just feels you don't need to like take the headset off and look at them. You just get. You
just know where they are from reaching out and grabbing them.
Yeah.
Because it's so one-to-one.
That was all a bit
so
weird
cool.
because you're holding these things, but you can't see your arms.
Yeah.
But yeah, the experience of it was very. I immediately felt like I was in that place, but as a kind of a weird like disembodied consciousness or something. But then as soon as they loaded up the game, I looked down at my hands, and I actually have like hands, like proper like big like fucking. Like, I don't know, just giant like man hands,
right?
And like they would just move when I moved and stuff.
But they were they holding?
I was holding the controllers at this point, but you weren't in the game. You weren't holding anything, and then you like turn around. And
but are the controllers in the simulation of the game?
No.
So it's just some hands.
You just have some hands, and then you like pick up a gun. The person was telling me like, so I was a bit like, what the hell's going on? Like, oh, look, I'm in a place, like a world.
Yeah.
Which is it was the game Arizona Sunshine, I think it's
called. Okay, so it's sort of it's like a zombie shooter type.
Yeah, in the desert, with lots of like ruined cars and like old like I don't know bridges and I don't know just kind of rusty old looking like derelict stuff around. Yeah, and loads of zombies.
Yeah, Google it. I think there's images.
Yeah, there are. I didn't know that's what it was until afterwards. I just sort of looked it up. But yeah, then So the thing
you got nothing in your hands.
Nothing in your hands, and the technician's like, pick the gun up. It didn't tell me how. But it's just like kind of obviously just use the trigger and the trackpad on the controller just to pick it up like you would pick up an object, and now you have a gun in your hand. And the weird thing about that was that it just completely felt like I had a gun in my hand. Like I actually had I mean, I might as well have had a gun in my hand. I mean, obviously it's light because it's a controller.
Yeah.
But you're looking at your hand, and your hand is moving exactly the same as your actual hand is. And it's holding something, and you see a gun, so like, you just feel like it is a gun. They need to put recoil into it, something, so that when you fire, you get the recoil.
They used to have those on old arcade games. Do you remember? They used to have those like plastic things that would knock backwards and forwards when you fired. Like House of the Dead, like
yeah.
Be going.
So the game itself was good fun.
It's more of is it a proper game or tech demo?
It's just a demo, just a demo.
I mean, obviously, it was
great fun. The fun aspect of it, obviously, was the VR, and like as I got into it, I started using the room scale stuff like a bit more, and
sort of relaxed into it, and was like properly looking around and like ducking. And I wasn't getting shot at, but you could like hide behind like a boulder or something, and so the zombies couldn't get to you, and like shoot them from another angle and all that kind of stuff. And I was doing all that, and like you just explore the whole scale of the room. Yeah.
And the fact that it was confined to just that room didn't really matter because the game was set up. Like I didn't ever feel like I needed more space to roam around. Yeah. But I did use the space I had. If that makes sense.
So you like peeking when you hide behind bolt. You feel like you're literally hiding behind stuff to kind of
exactly. You get that feeling of well, I mean, what am I trying to say? Like when you are like crouched behind something, if you're hiding from something, you feel like it's really there.
You feel like you're safer behind it.
Exactly. Even though there's nothing there in real life, it's just it gives you the illusion of having a thing there.
Yeah.
So that was all really cool. There was a part of it, just one like demo level in like a disused mine. It's all pitch black, and you have a torch in one hand, and you're holding the torch above your shoulder like this, and the gun, and I mean, I just felt like I'm immediately kind of switching into this kind of like I'm something from like a TV show, like The Walking Dead or something, just like
that's so cool.
Just fell into the role of it. The person and the technician, watching all these people do that must be pretty funny. Just literally a person with a headset on, just like thinking
diving around.
Jason Bourne.
I imagine some people shitting themselves as well.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I guess you didn't get to see anyone else.
No, it was
just you, and then you got let out, right?
Yeah, you get like dragged out again, like really quickly. It's like, take the headset off, go, go, go. You know,
yes.
And then it was on with the rest of the thing,
yeah.
which lasted another. That was like halfway through.
Yes.
And after it, I was just like,
get me back to the Vive,
because they'd said at the beginning that there was another Vive headset at the end that we were allowed to use, which I did use again.
Yes.
Only for like a minute,
right.
And it was much. Like it was quite different because there were people everywhere, and I didn't have headphones on, and it didn't feel anywhere near as immersive.
Oh right, okay.
At the second time.
Yeah.
So you really need. I think
you do it on your own or with a friend or whatever.
Yeah. And just have the opportunity to like explore.
I've heard that from a lot of people who go to these big shows, and they say that it does take away from it being on a big show floor with lots of people running around. That you obviously you feel like you're somewhere. From visually, but when there's no noise,
I had people asking me questions and stuff while I was doing it,
and that's it's not
yeah. It does detract from it.
Yeah. You can't get the full
and plus,
experience.
I felt like I needed to pass it on because there's loads of people waiting.
Exactly. Yeah. So you can't just relax and kind of get into it.
Yeah.
So what did you think of the hardware then? You said the tracking was ridiculously good.
Yeah, like perfect.
What about how comfortable was it?
Again, it's hard to really know because I
guess you
was
only had it on for
rushed
10
in
minutes
and then rushed out.
Yeah.
And it was all quite intense.
And you haven't used any of the other headsets.
I haven't used any of the headsets. I have nothing to compare it to. I did feel like I couldn't maybe move my head as fast as I would have without anything on. Just because I was aware that I had this kind of thing, and probably if I had more time to really adjust it and get the feel for it, or use it for a bit and then maybe take it off and adjust the straps a bit, and then it might have been a bit more comfortable. It wasn't uncomfortable, but I didn't use it for long enough to be honest.
No, you didn't get a fair shake really in the comfort rating. So what about the screen then? Yeah, the resolution, screen door effect, brightness, all that stuff. So
because we've obviously been chatting about this loads and we did episodes on it and everything. Yeah. I was really paying attention to all that stuff, and the resolution's not great.
No, okay.
Noticeably not good.
Yes.
But obviously that's going to change over the next few years.
Yeah.
And that doesn't really matter.
No.
The kind of things that put you into the world are really the tracking.
Mm.
The motion, tracking the head movements.
Yes, yeah.
And your body movements and stuff, and everything else is almost so for example the screen door effect, which was noticeable, kind of looked like I was wearing a mesh helmet all the time, which is fine really because it just looks like you're in a normal world wearing a mesh helmet, not that it doesn't take you out of it really.
Yeah.
And same with the resolution. Well, the resolution makes it look like a video game from maybe 7 years ago or something like that, rather than an up-to-date 2D screen video game.
Yes.
Again,
was that a problem when you were looking at stuff at distance and anything like that?
Yeah. The zombies coming from the distance were really really rubbish resolution.
Yeah, just sort of hazy.
Yeah, yeah. You can still see them and stuff. Yeah. So it didn't hinder the game.
No.
And it didn't. You still felt present in the world.
Yes. Yeah.
But obviously with better resolution it's just going to be a better experience.
Yeah. A few years down the line that problem will obviously disappear.
Yeah.
But for people buying them now, I guess that's just, like I said, I pre-ordered an Oculus. I've still got the pre-order on. That's the same resolution as the Vive, so that's just something I'll
presumably as the resolution gets better, the screen door effect will get better as well because pixel size will go down, I'd imagine.
Yeah, the screen door effect's a combination of different things, I think.
The Oculus, they get rid of it by using crazy lenses, right?
Apparently, yes.
Partially.
I think I'm not actually sure if they're absolutely identical, but they are essentially the same screens as in the Vive. But they use an optical diffuser or something, I think, that helps blur over a slight screen door effect you get. Most people who use the Oculus don't say that. They say there's not a noticeable screen door effect.
Right.
In the Vive, and in the Vive that there is a slight screen door effect. The resolution will help definitely. That will eventually get rid of the screen door effect. But it's also the amount per pixel of each pixel that's illuminated. Yeah. Because if you've got a dark edge around the pixel, even if it gets very fine, you'll still maybe have a very slight screen door effect to a point, and then it will disappear. So the combination of that, the diffusers. Yeah. And the resolution will all add up to it will get rid. Probably, I imagine the second batch of these headsets, if they get to 4K resolution type things, it won't be a problem.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be beast.
But it'll be really hard to run on the computers that are around at the moment. That's one of the reasons they probably haven't gone up to that.
Yeah. Which makes sense. I mean, these things are churning out like ridiculous frame rates and stuff, as well as like, changing the angles of the camera, like the virtual camera angles. As soon as you move your head, like everything has to change. Like it's a crazy amount of like graphics processing that goes into it.
One thing that people have been saying with the Oculus is that you get this slight like God ray effect. So
what is that?
Very slight. It's just internal reflections and stuff in the lenses themselves. So I think it's only really noticeable in high contrast areas. So where you've got like white bright writing against a black background, and you'll see these tiny little rays and things, almost like a lens flare effect.
Yeah, okay.
Like a J.J. Abrams, just getting in the Oculus and sort of putting some lens flare on. That you get that in certain. I guess because of the stuff. Maybe saw it in the Mine, but I guess to
be honest,
it's such a short demo. And you weren't really looking for it, so
wasn't really looking for it. I can say that the screen door effect was noticeable pretty much constantly, except in the dark Mine because it was dark.
Yeah, but you just
but
as again, everyone says, you just forget about it.
You forget about it really quickly. Yeah, you just learn to kind of look through it.
Yes,
weirdly.
Yeah.
The better resolution would help massively, and the other thing is the field of view. Again, like very noticeable.
Yeah,
that you, like that's one of the first things, and like, again, you get used to it very quickly, and it doesn't. In the long run, doesn't impact your like feeling of presence, but I think initially the first like few minutes of wearing, not even the first few minutes, like the first 30 seconds or something of wearing it, you don't feel like you've like entered a new world particularly.
No,
it's more you to get that feeling you need to move around.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why people say that you feel presence a lot more when you do room scale.
Yes,
and that's why people get a stronger reaction to the Vive than they have to the Oculus. So once the Oculus Touch things and come out, and it does have room scale, presumably it's going to have room scale. Probably going to.
Because I spent the first
then you'll probably get the
first bit of the game, of the actual like demo game, whatever, shooting zombies, just sort of just stood there, just like shooting straight ahead. But then as I started moving around, it felt the whole world suddenly felt like it opened up.
Yeah.
And I think part of the reason is because you don't have a peripheral vision and you are kind of looking essentially at a screen. You feel like you're looking at a screen, but as soon as you start moving around, that feeling goes away, and then you just feel like you're wearing like some kind of like blinker type thing on the side of your eye.
Yes.
So it's like you're wearing blinkers and like a mesh helmet, but then beyond that, like you're in the world.
Yes. That's very cool.
Can't wait for them to sort out like full field of view.
Yeah.
So you have total peripheral vision.
Like, I guess you'd have to. Well, you have to have bigger screens.
Yeah, bigger. Yeah.
Wraparound screen type things. There must be an engineering solution to that, or just project it directly into your retina or something like that.
Yeah.
Like the apparently Magic Leap's trying to do something. I mean, Magic Leap's not VR, or it might have a VR.
Maybe it will though.
People have been talking about maybe it will, but
so how, you
could do that as a potential way to get like a full field of view, or just have some mad. The helmet would have to be big though if you had to have a like wraparound screens.
Yeah, unless you have like a slightly curved screen and then just like really mental lenses.
Yes, like some really cool optics. Yeah, very highly fisheyed.
Yeah,
that might cause.
And then obviously you have to compensate for that with all the graphics on the screen.
Yeah,
which would be
really
highly
weird. Distorted.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, undoubtedly that will come somehow. Somehow that will be a thing. So
yeah. So overall, you were impressed? Not impressed?
Definitely impressed. Yeah. Overall, definitely.
Do you think this is going to be something that's like a new entertainment medium that's going to last? As in, is this like a new type of? Is it going to be a bigger change to something like a TV? That's a big change.
That is a big change. Like from a world with no TVs to a world with TVs.
Yeah. Or is there anything comparable?
I think it has the potential to be like as fundamental as that. That won't be apparent in the first few years because it'll be mostly used for gaming and stuff.
Yeah.
And which is going to be a massive deal. And once it's like commonly accepted into the gaming world, beyond just like early adopters and stuff, then.
Price comes down and stuff.
Yeah, price comes down. It will already seem like a huge like technological like jump forward, and that's going to stick. I mean, the experience of it is so good.
Yeah. That's not
that's not in question. Like it is the next generation of gaming. It's going to be VR. Absolutely.
or at least like it's not going away. There may be you may still play games on 2D screens, sure.
Yeah.
But that VR headsets are now going to be around.
Yes.
Like things like
it's not just like
it's not a fad like the things like the PlayStation Move and the Wiimote and those sort of things that the Kinect and those kinds of things that sounded cool but were shit.
Yeah.
Because in practice, when you actually use them, they were a bit shit.
Yeah.
But when I've used the VR stuff, I've not.
I do not get that feeling about it at all.
No.
Like
it feels like
the
it's
Kinect
ready.
and stuff. It's like, oh yeah, there's a bit of fun for like 5 minutes, and then it's like, this is a bit shit. Whereas that, like, when they told me to leave, I was like, no, I need like at least another 3 hours.
Yeah.
Just to really start getting the feel for it.
But you can. Well, I got the feeling that when I used it, that yes, it's going to be something that's going to stick around for gamers, and it's going to be. That's not going anywhere, and it's just going to be a really cool new way to have interactive experiences. But it to me, it's not. That's the sort of minor side of what VR so this is probably going to be.
For it to be as fundamental a change as the TV, it needs to expand beyond the world of gaming, and it will. It will, I think. Maybe not in the next like 5 years, or maybe.
I think in the next 5 years it will be. Well, I mean, it will. You'll start seeing it. I don't know how long it took.
5 years from now,
you're starting to see it really.
It'll be very common for gamers.
Very common, and
you'll probably start to see applications of it that are like seriously used by people outside of gaming.
For all sorts of things.
Yeah,
like we talked about them before in a previous episode, but particularly things like communicating with people. You know, like you can go and sit with your family on the other side of the world in the same room, that type of stuff. Yeah. You can get the whole person in with using like cameras and stuff.
And design.
And design and architecture and all these sorts of things.
There's a bunch of stuff. Like near-term stuff.
It is as the kind of internet was and the TV was in a way. It's just it's us introverting into like the digital realm basically.
Yes.
And it's that start of it's the change of feeling like you're watching the digital realm to feeling like you're being in the digital world.
Yeah.
Like actually in a different place.
Yeah.
And I think that change is only going to be slowly. It's only apparent to people who have used it, and you can't really describe quite how it feels, quite how good it is by just talking about it. You need to go and use them.
Yeah.
But because some people think it's going to be like a fad, just a fad.
Yeah,
I think just like a.
Some people assume that it's just not going to be very good, although it might be a bit like, oh, this is kind of interesting or like a bit novel, but not like actually like, holy shit, like I feel like I'm in this game.
Yeah.
Like I'm holding a gun. I am holding a gun and shooting at things in this game. Like this is real. It's real. I'm not just watching it. I'm doing it.
And if you can feel like that in a game, and you can feel like that in tons of different situations, it's very transportative.
Yeah.
So I think it's here to stay, and I think it's going to be a lot bigger than just games.
Definitely. This is the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
So have I made a mistake by pre-ordering the Oculus? Should I have got the Vive Mark?
Well, I mean, I haven't tried the Oculus, so I have no idea.
Yeah,
really.
That's true.
I have no like direct comparison.
Well,
and I'm sure you made an informed choice anyway. But I don't know. Like
you were loving.
I was loving it, and I if I had the cash, I would have been like, take my money, because I just wanted to keep playing with it.
Yeah. So you think the room scale thing is obviously.
That was a big part of what made it good.
Yes. Yeah. Needs space for that, of course.
But for that game though, like that's the thing. Like it will depend on what you do with it. And I know like obviously the Oculus isn't going to come with like the room scale aspect out of the box.
Not out of the box.
But you can buy like the touch thing.
This
will make it kind of room scale. I have no idea if that's going to compare in terms of how great the tracking was with the Vive.
Yeah. So this is the thing. This is why I think I'm kind of still happy with my choice.
Yeah.
Is that everyone's been saying that the Vive does have this room scale thing, and that makes it more immersive. That makes it more wow factor than the Oculus. But when the touch comes out, which is going to be like over the summer, it's supposed to be in the second half of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, it might not be quite the same tracking area as the Vive. I'm not actually sure, and no one seems to know.
Right.
Or they haven't released any information exactly how big the area will be. But based on some YouTube videos and looking at how big the tracking area is for the Constellation sensor that comes with the Oculus, just one of them, it's massive. It's really quite big. If you had, and when you buy Touch, it comes with a second one.
Yeah.
So you'll have, I presume, like quite a big area to move around in using the Oculus.
Yeah.
The touch controllers apparently are slightly. You feel like your hands are slightly more in. They're slightly more comfortable, a bit more ergonomic, kind of a bit better for feeling like your hands are in VR than the Vive controllers.
The Vive ones are pretty good. So that's great.
Yeah, they're just a bit more. It feels like you're pinching and picking up stuff. Whereas the Vive things feel like you're holding a wand with a trigger.
It does. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Which I again, I haven't used the touch. Yeah. But this is just what I've been told by other people. So it seems like if you can do room scale with the Oculus, essentially you will be able to in the second half of the year. And everyone almost unanimously says the headset is better for the Oculus.
Yes.
Then I sort of don't really know where I'm going wrong by getting the Oculus.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing is that they don't have. Obviously, there's no chaperone system. So this chaperone system is the thing in the Vive that. Did you try that, by the way? You get to the edges and you see the...
yes, sorry. Yes. Yeah, that was really, really useful. Otherwise, I would have been crashing into the walls constantly.
So whether... Presumably, Oculus is going to bring out a solution for that.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that has to require some new hardware where you have to... They'll give you like 4 base station things that you put out and the cameras know where they are and it generates like digital walls around them, maybe something like that. Or you don't need that at all and you just walk, like you do with the Vive, to set it up. You walk around... And, and then it maps where that area you've walked around in the calibration start like setup.
I actually didn't think much about that. I kind of just assumed. I think I might have just assumed it uses the front facing camera for that.
No, I don't think so. No, I think you mean to set up where the edges of the walls are.
Yeah, that can't work.
No, it doesn't. No, it's to do with the laser positioning. So you set that up to start with where your wall is, so you can change it for different rooms.
Yeah.
And stuff. So I presume they might be able to do something similar to Oculus. But to do room scale, you need that chaperone system, it sounds like. So I presume Oculus is maybe a bit of a risk, but Oculus should have a solution for it.
You'd imagine so.
They don't have the front-facing camera, though.
Like that playing that game, and other games like it, where you actually are roaming around the room scale stuff. And I was moving quickly as well. I was moving fast around that room.
Did you lie on the floor?
Not properly. I kind of crouched down a few times and I ducked and stuff, but no, I didn't lie down. That would be interesting. But yeah, like if it wasn't for that chaperone system, I would have been bouncing off the walls. Literally.
Okay. So Oculus need to have.
Yeah. So I guess the question of like whether
sort of depends on what they release.
Depends on the room scale aspect of the Oculus and how good that is compared to the room scale Vive. And if it is as good or even nearly as good, then like the fact that the screen door effect a lot better,
slightly less,
all that kind of stuff for the Oculus,
a bit more comfortable,
and the fact that it's slightly cheaper. I mean, the headset itself is way cheaper, but then obviously out of the box you get more from the Vive.
Yeah, that is the thing. I mean, the Touch might make it the same price as the Vive.
Roughly, probably. Yeah.
It might do. I don't really know how expensive that's going to be.
But anyway, so it does seem like Oculus is even though I haven't tried it.
No.
Could potentially just seems like a bit of like an upgrade.
Just slight, maybe.
But anyway,
we don't know because we'll see what they release with Touch. So we don't know of that yet. But that's my thoughts. That's what I think. I think I've probably made the right choice.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you've had a similar experience to the other people who've used Vive that basically just say that room scale VR is fucking good.
Yeah, it's cool. It's very cool.